That's no
That's
reasonable.
not my deal. That's not my deal,
Yes,
Chris.
it's exactly what you
I'll
said.
describe
You
my
do
deal
this
to
at
you.
every debate.
I'll tell you exactly what it is.
Don't interrupt
I'll
me.
tell
I
you
didn't
what
interrupt you. Okay? You
Tell
say
them
this.
about how you want to send our kids to die.
You
Go
do this
for
at
it.
every debate. You go out on the stump and you say something. All of us see it on video. We confront you on the debate stage. You say you didn't say it, and then you back away. And I want to say
exactly what I said, Chris.
I'm not done yet.
Well, this is
now look.
I tell you what, the establishment has started to circle the wagons, an old reference, behind Nikki Haley. And you had Captain Christie to come in and save the day. So if you hadn't had a chance to watch the fourth presidential debate on the Republican side, it was held at my alma mater, the University of Alabama, Roll Tide. So initially I wasn't going to watch it because why would I watch something that really, in the grand scheme of things, none of these candidates have a shot of winning. Donald Trump is going to win the Republican nomination. But I watched it because I wanted to get a sense of the ideas and policies of people that could be the bench of the Republican side, ones that could come behind Donald Trump and somebody that could potentially be a VP for Trump. And so as I watched this debate, it started to crystallize where each person stands. Of course, you have Vivek Ramaswamy, who is in the America First MAGA lane. You have Ron DeSantis, who is starting to get his footing a little bit in terms of what he is. He's trying to be one of those Reagan conservatives, the conservatives that may not be fully MAGA. He's trying to be like a Tea Party conservative. That's what Ron DeSantis, that's the lane he's running in. He's running in 2010s Tea Party conservative. Then you have Nikki Haley and Chris Christie. They are your establishment. They are your country club. They are your Chamber of Commerce Republican. And as you see in this interaction, you'll see why I call Chris Christie and Nikki Haley your Chamber of Commerce Republicans. They are the Republicans that the big donors are behind because they're the ones that want to push this globalism, that want to push everything that has caused the problems here in America. They want to push all the big government stuff. They want to push all the things that do nothing for the American people, for the American worker. So listen to this exchange here between Vivek Ramaswamy and Nikki Haley.
Senator Haley, she should keep a closer eye on her daughter. Can you see how this has led some to conclude you are not, in fact, a unifier and to question your authenticity?
Megan, I think there's a time and place for everything. We need somebody in the White House who absolutely is going to be a fighter when it counts. And I did say that there were some good people on that stage in that third debate. Doug Burgum was on that stage at that time. And I'll say that jokingly. Ron DeSantis is a good person, too. I want to go back, though, to Nikki Haley's comment from earlier that she is somehow not responding to the will of these donors. Nikki, you were bankrupt when you left the UN. After you left the UN, you became a military contractor. You actually started joining service on the board of Boeing, whose back you scratched for a very long time, and then gave foreign multinational speeches like Hillary Clinton is. And now you're a multimillionaire. That math does not add up. It adds up to the fact that you are corrupt. And when I said they were bought and paid for...
Man, Vivek does not hold back any punches. He has been going at Nikki Haley ever since the third debate. Man, Vivek was on fire last night. He lit the whole stage up. And look at Nikki Haley's face.
I meant the Republican establishment, not the Democratic establishment. Now you have Reid Hoffman, the person who's effectively George Soros Jr., funding lawsuits across this country against Donald Trump to keep him off the ballot, funding left-wing causes. We discovered this week that he is one of Nikki Haley's largest supporters. Larry Fink, the king of the woke industrial complex, the ESG movement, the CEO of BlackRock, the most powerful company in the world, now supporting Nikki Haley. And to say that doesn't affect her is false, because it's after that meeting later that day that she says that every American needs to be doxxed by having their ID, their government-issued ID, tied to what they say on the internet. So I think that this is far more corrupt than I even imagined when I entered politics. But I will say this. It is going to take a leader from the outside, with fresh legs, from the next generation to unite this country. Not the broken politicians who are puppets of the puppet masters, but the actual people in this country. Thomas Jefferson was 33 when he wrote the Declaration of Independence. I think it's going to take somebody whose best days in life are still ahead to see a country whose best days are ahead of itself. And I think I can reach that next generation better than anybody else in this race.
Thank you. Response.
Megan. First of all, we weren't bankrupt when I left the UN. We're people of service. My husband is in the military, and I served our country as UN ambassador and governor. It may...
That's honorable, Nikki. But I think the question that people have is, how did you, Nikki, go from being honorable to being a millionaire in a matter of years, in an instant? That's what people question, and that's what people don't want to get behind. That's what people don't want to elect, because what it sounds like that you are a creature of the swamp in DC. Hey, I want to say, if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button and click subscribe so we can get this message out to as many people as we can to let them know that they're not victims, they are empowered for greatness.
Bankrupt to him, but it certainly wasn't bankrupt to us. Secondly, I did serve on the board of Boeing. I did a lot of work with Boeing when I was governor. They were a great partner to me. I served for 10 months. And then when they decided after COVID that they wanted to go for a corporate bailout, I've never supported corporate bailout, so I respectfully stepped back and got off the board. I love Boeing. They build good commercial airplanes. They build airplanes for our Air Force. I am proud of them. They employ a lot of people in South Carolina. But that's why I left the Boeing board. There's nothing to what he's saying. And in terms of these donors that are supporting me, they're just jealous. They wish that they were supporting them, but I'm not going to sit there and deny.
Oh, wow, Nikki Haley threw a little jab there.
As well, and so I think that that's actually far more dangerous than, this is really important for people to understand. We're marching towards fascism under Biden. Jack Smith has subpoenaed every last retweet that someone has issued from Donald Trump in the year 2020. The only person more fascist than the Biden regime now is Nikki Haley, who thinks the government should identify every one of those individuals.
Whoa, I told you, Vivek came out, he took the gloves off and was swinging at Nikki Haley.
With an ID. That is not freedom, that is fascism, and she should come nowhere near the levers of power, let alone the White House.
I've got to get to Governor Christie. I haven't forgotten about you,
No, but can I just say,
can you speak?
I really appreciate it.
How you doing, sir?
Good to see you.
Can you?
Joe Biden, who still support this, what I believe is pointless war in Ukraine. And I think those with foreign policy experience, one thing that Joe Biden and Nikki Haley have in common is that neither of them could even state for you 3 provinces in eastern Ukraine that they want to send our troops to actually fight for. Look at that. This is what I want people to understand. These people have, I mean, she has no idea what the names of those provinces are, but she wants to send our...
Ooh, I could just imagine the thoughts that were going through Nikki Haley's mind at that time. She really dislikes Vivek Ramaswamy.
Sons and daughters and our troops and our military equipment to go fight it. So reject this myth that they've been selling you that somebody had a cup of coffee stint at the UN and then makes $8 million after, has real foreign policy experience. It takes an outsider to see this through. Look at the blank expression. She doesn't know the names of the provinces that she wants to actually fight for.
Now, one thing that happens is some of the voters' eyes, Nikki Haley's become a sympathetic figure because of all the attacks and the constant barrage of attacks that Vivek gave her last night. I can see that.
And there's your puppet masters right there, the donors right there that are playing her like the puppet masters.
Hold on.
Let me just say something here.
Here he comes, Captain Christie.
You know, his reasonable peace deal in Ukraine, he made it clear. Give them all the land they've already stolen. Promise Putin you'll never put Ukraine in Russia, and then trust Putin not to have a relationship with China. Let me tell you something. That's no reasonable.
That's not my deal. That's not my deal,
yes,
Chris.
it's exactly what you
I'll
said.
describe
You
my
do
deal
this
too.
at every debate.
I'll tell you exactly what it is.
Don't interrupt me. I didn't interrupt you. Okay? You
Tell
say
them
this.
about how you want to send our kids to die.
You
Go
do
for
this
it.
at every debate. You go out on the stump and you say something. All of us see it on video. We confront you on the debate stage. You say you didn't say it, and then you back away. And I want to
I'll
say
tell you exactly what I said, Chris.
I'm not done yet.
Well, this is...
Now look.
This is
and here's
nonsense. This man is spewing. This man is spewing nonsense.
Captain Chris coming to save the day.
This is the fourth debate that you would be voted in the first 20 minutes as the most obnoxious blowhard in America. So shut up for a little while.
I'm going to respond to that.
Your version. We're going to let you respond to that. We're going to let you respond to that.
I'll take
Let him
that.
finish.
I want to say something else. We're now 25 minutes into this debate, and he has insulted Nikki Haley's basic intelligence, not her positions, her basic intelligence. She doesn't know regions. She wouldn't be able to find something on a map that his 3-year-old could find. Look, if you want to disagree on issues, that's fine. And Nikki and I disagree on some issues. But I'll tell you this, I've known her for 12 years, which is longer than he's even started to vote in a Republican primary. And while we disagree about some issues and we disagree about who should be president of the United States, what we don't disagree on is this is a smart, accomplished woman, and you should stop insulting
So
her.
I'm going to take this. I'm going to take several times over.
Go ahead, Captain Chris Christie. Go ahead, Cap. Put that cape on for Nikki Haley and the establishment. Put that cape on, Chris.
So first of all, I think we just learned something from Chris Christie. We learned three things.
Go ahead.
Learned three things right there. First of all, Chris Christie also doesn't know what provinces in eastern Ukraine he actually wants us to fight for. Chris, your version of foreign policy experience was closing a bridge from New Jersey to New York.
Yeah.
So do everybody a favor, just walk yourself off that stage, enjoy a nice meal,
Yeah.
and get the hell out of this
Yeah,
race.
let me tell
Wow. Boy, Vivek. Dude, you're not going to win, but man, boy, you are really making enemies with the establishment. Wow. Vivek Ramaswamy was no holds barred last night. Wow. Vivek Ramaswamy. And that's just a taste of some of the things that were said last night. But I wanted to show you how Chris Christie came to the rescue of Nikki Haley. He came to the rescue of the establishment. That lets you know the establishment, they rally together, and lets you know who the establishment wants to be your Republican nominee if you are on the Republican side of the house. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hey, I want to say, if you haven't done so already, please hit the like button and click subscribe so we can get this message out to as many people as we can to let them know that they're not victims, they are empowered for greatness.